Hello everyone and welcome. Today we will delve into a very serious and worrying topic, the dark side of the Philippines, the sex trade that is taking over. Join us as we explore this issue that affects many people and communities in the country. It is a necessary journey to understand the realities behind this phenomenon and the stories of those who are caught up in it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date with our upcoming investigations. Let's start this important conversation. The Philippines, an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands in Southeast Asia, is known for its natural beauty, rich culture, and the warmth of its people. However, behind this idyllic image lies a worrying reality: the growing sex trade that has taken over various areas of the country. This phenomenon not only affects the women and men involved, but also has profound social, economic, and cultural implications. Philippine culture is a vibrant mix of indigenous, Spanish, and American influences. Family and religion play a central role in the daily lives of Filipinos, with Catholicism being the predominant faith. However, despite the conservative values associated with religion, the country has historically been a destination for sex tourism. Poverty and economic inequality have led many people to seek opportunities in this sector, often with devastating consequences. The perception of sex and sexuality in the Philippines is ambivalent. While there is a strong stigma associated with sex work, at the same time there is a tacit acceptance of the sex industry as part of the tourist landscape. A notable curiosity about the sex trade in the Philippines is the existence of bar girls and mamasans. Bar girls are young women who work in bars and nightclubs, where they offer company to clients in exchange for money. On the other hand, mamasans are women who supervise the bar girls and act as intermediaries between them and the clients. This dynamic creates a hierarchy within the sex trade that further complicates the situation of the workers. In addition, the characteristics of this trade vary by region. While in tourist areas such as Angeles City and Boracay, the sex trade may be more visible and organized, in rural areas it can manifest itself in more clandestine and vulnerable ways. The sex trade in the Philippines has grown considerably in recent decades. Various factors have contributed to this increase, including poverty, lack of educational and employment opportunities, as well as the influence of tourism. The Philippine Islands have long been a popular destination for tourists seeking exotic getaways, but this tourism has also fueled a sex industry that has become ubiquitous in many areas. Poverty is one of the main drivers of the sex trade. Many young women come from low-income families and see sex work as a way to escape economic misery. In some cases, sex workers are single mothers struggling to support their children. Lack of education and employment opportunities limits their options, leading them to participate in a trade that puts them in vulnerable situations. Tourism has been a driving factor in the growth of the sex trade in the Philippines. Cities like Angeles City, known for its nightlife and proximity to U.S. military bases, have seen a boom in the sex industry since the 1980s. Foreign tourists seek out experiences that often include the company of local women, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation and economic dependency. Bars and nightclubs have become focal points for the sex trade. In these places, women dress in provocative clothing and offer companionship to clients in exchange for money. Although some may see this as a form of empowerment, many face significant risks, including violence, exploitation, and sexually transmitted diseases. The sex trade in the Philippines has unique characteristics that set it apart from other countries. One notable feature is the diversity of services offered. From bars and nightclubs to private escort services, the industry has diversified to meet the demands of tourists. In addition, the use of digital platforms has made access to these services even easier, allowing clients to find escorts with just a few clicks. Another important feature is the significant presence of mamasans, who act as intermediaries between sex workers and clients. These women not only run the businesses, but also provide support and protection to the bar girls. However, their role can also be problematic, as some mamasans may exploit workers by withholding part of their earnings or imposing unfavorable working conditions. In recent years, technology has transformed the landscape of the sex trade in the Philippines. Mobile apps and websites have allowed sex workers to promote their services directly to the public without the need for intermediaries. This has empowered some women by giving them greater control over their work. However, it has also exposed many to new risks related to personal safety and harassment. As more tourists seek authentic and accessible experiences through digital platforms, the sex trade has become more visible and integrated integrated into Philippine tourism culture. While this may offer new opportunities for some sex workers, it also raises important questions about the ethics of tourism and exploitation. The societal response to the sex trade in the Philippines has been mixed. While some groups advocate for the legalization and regulation of sex work as a means of protecting workers and ensuring their rights, others argue that any form of sex trade perpetuates exploitation and must be eradicated. This polarization has led to intense debates on how to address the issue of sex trade in the country. Hold on, friends. Before we continue our discussion on the sex trade in the Philippines, we invite you to reflect on the importance of this issue. If this content is resonating with you, please give it a like and share the video with your friends. Your support helps us raise awareness and give a voice to those facing these harsh realities. Now, let's move on and delve deeper into the stories and statistics that illuminate this dark side of the Philippines. Non-governmental organizations have played a crucial role in this debate, working to raise awareness about human rights and offer support to women involved in the sex trade. Educational programs and alternative employment opportunities are being implemented to help these women exit the cycle of the sex trade if they so choose. The Philippine government has attempted to address the problems associated with the sex trade by implementing stricter laws and awareness campaigns on human trafficking. However, many argue that these measures are insufficient and that a more comprehensive approach is needed to address the roots of the problem. Despite efforts by the government and non-governmental organizations, human trafficking remains a serious problem in the Philippines. Many women are tricked or forced into the sex trade, raising serious questions about the effectiveness of current policies. The impact of the sex trade in the Philippines is multifaceted. On the one hand, it contributes significantly to the local economy, generating income for thousands of families. Bars, clubs, and other related businesses rely heavily on the constant flow of tourists seeking nighttime entertainment. However, it also raises serious ethical and social questions. Sexual exploitation and human trafficking are serious problems that have drawn attention both nationally and internationally. Philippine authorities have attempted to address these issues by implementing stricter laws and educational campaigns on human trafficking. However, many argue that these measures are insufficient. The social consequences of the sex trade are profound. The stigmatization of sex workers perpetuates cycles of poverty and marginalization. Many women face discrimination when trying to access basic services such as healthcare or education because of the stigma associated with their work. In addition, the sex trade also affects local communities. The proliferation of bars and nightclubs can lead to an increase in crime and other social problems. Communities near these areas may experience a deterioration in their quality of life due to noise, violence, and other problems associated with sex tourism. The sex trade in the Philippines has also attracted international attention. Many activists have denounced the exploitation and violence associated with this industry, advocating for better protections for sex workers. At the same time, some tourists argue that their participation in this trade is consensual, and we hope that this video has shed light on an issue that needs to be addressed with urgency and compassion. If you found this information important, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive notifications about future content. We also encourage you to leave a comment with your thoughts or experiences because your voice is essential in this conversation. Thank you for joining us and for being part of this change. Until next time.